Hello, everybody. So, I just want to say hello. Thank you for everybody who subscribed. We are rolling along here. I'd like to once again thank everybody for comments, questions. I see that you guys are enjoying the, what would I call that? The little, I'm going to call it a montage that I put together of just like the songs that I've done on different items. I got one more, which is the MPF Project, which is kind of a hybrid of the 464. Thank you for, I think it was Hayes who pointed out that I call it a 646. I am numerically dyslexic. It's a 464 Tascam 464 cassette system, and it's a mixture of that. It's the drums from that, which we recorded at a studio. It was this guy who we know. He wanted to be a producer at the time, and he spent a lot of money on mics and stuff, and he ended up using our mics instead to do the drum tracks. And he had recorded the drum tracks on the 464 and then transfer them to a reel-to-reel 8-track, which I still have, which I'm trying to find somebody who can take the songs off so I can put them on, so I can digitize them for myself so that I can mix them down and hear what we actually recorded, because all I had to work with was the drums and some other scratch tracks that I had made up because I was showing the songs to a friend, which became For My Dear Friend. Well, this is becoming a long talk, but I'll keep going for a second. So I'm going to release that. So that's going to be coming up this Wednesday. I'll release that as well. It's just going to be another 10, 12 songs. And this was stuff that was recorded on the 464, then finished on the Tascam DP32, because I was afraid my 464 was going to die finally. You know, it was like close to 30 years by that. I was close to 25 years by this point, and I was like, oh, I don't know if it's going to make it. It did. I kept going for 30 years, and then the belt finally broke. That's another story. So let's talk about today. So Nameless2340 asked this question: can you do this type of reamping without connecting to a DAW? So what he's asking is, I did a video on using the USB, using a DAW to do your reamping, and then coming back in and then recording your, like using the amp modeling that you have on a DAW to record, and then come back in on a track so that you can record it and then you have it there, you know, for later. And I did this to just show that yes, you can do that. So if you're one of these people who has a lot of modeling amps and that, you can do that. You can use your stuff. It's quite easy to do. So that's not today's video. Well, that's part of the idea. Now let's talk about, can you do reamping on the Model 24 without that? So behind me, which you can't see, I'll move this way. There she is. There she is. My Roland Cube 60. That's what we're using today. As you can see, it's got the mic on it already. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to explain to you that first, yes, you can do what's been asked. So let's go to the camera here. So what you do, you have in this case you have 3 choices, which is really nice. On the DP32, you have 2 choices. You have effects send 1, effects send 2. On the Model 24, you have your effects out. Now, to do the effects out, if you want to do the effects out, you have to do some finagling. I'm not using it today because I'm using it for other. I'm actually using the internal effects, so I don't want to. But I can talk about how to do it. What you have to do is you have to go in, turn your effects off on the board, and then plug into the effects out, and then you follow the same system. You just got to remember to turn your effects off. You want to use the effects out. In this case, I don't need to. I'm going to be using the monitors here, so they're hard to see because I got my control room cables in the way. But I got monitor 1. I've got the blue cable plugged in, and it's going to. I'll show you, and I'm going to explain something that I didn't know, and I finally realized why I needed it. So let's go. It's going into. Things are falling. It's going into my little reamp box here. This is my dual Try to get it so it's focused. This is dual RDB. This is the reamping box. This is an Art Accessories dual RDB, dual reamping. What does it say here? Direct box. So there you are. So I'll show you the front. See if I can get it without. There you go. That's pretty decent, eh? So that's the front of it. Now, I never. Well, I did. But I never knew why I needed one of these because every engineer says, "Oh, you need a reamp box to do that." Why? Well, remember I was talking about hum a few days ago or a few weeks ago, and I pulled out my, if I can find it here, yeah, here it is. Pulled out my trusty little hum eliminator. It's another one hard to see. My little Behringer hum eliminator. I got this for like $30 at a pawn shop, and what it does is it takes away the hum or the connection that causes the interference noise between your amp and your board. It takes that away. So this does pretty much the same thing. This one's a little more fancy because it comes with XLR fronts and then regular inputs. This is just tip sleeve inputs. Do not. I tried it with this first. So this is a balanced TRS tip rig sleeve. This will work on the monitor out because it's balanced. But because it's balanced, as soon as it plugs into this, which is not, it cancels each other out, so you get no sound. So I just pointing that out. So that's that. So if I would have been running this differently to a different thing, would have been fine, but I wasn't, so can't do that. So yeah, so that's the first thing about this. It does pretty much the same thing. It eliminates the hum. This one, like I said, this has extra features like you have, because people seem to want it. You can't see it, but it has. I'll just read it to you. It's easier that way. It has phase shifting. Somebody asked about phase shifting before. Maybe I'll bring that up because this one has phase shifting, and it also has. You can make it so that the source. So if I go in input 1 here, the output will go to 2 different spots. It's not from input 1 to input 1. It's input 1 to input 1 and then 2. In this case, I'm just using input 1, as you can see, or output 1. So I don't need it for that. I don't have extra amps. So if you had like a whole, if you had 2 sets of amps that you wanted to reamp, that would work for you. And it's good idea. So yeah, I'm now understanding why I need this, why people always say this, because that's what always drives me nuts. Because people think it's not that people are I don't know, better. It's just that they're so used to why they have this, they don't think to say this is why I have this. So I thought this is why I have this. This is why I'm telling you this. So because I did this last night, I plugged this. I was going to do this for this thing, but I'm not now. I plugged this directly into the board, and then I just got interference, and you could hear noise and crap, and it was terrible. So now I'm not getting that. Now this thing also has a level dial here, so to set where you want, how loud you want it to go through, and I'm going to use that in a second. So that being said, let's go to the next step. So we now know that I'm plugged in. That's how I'm plugged in. So that's going out on the board. I'm using track 1 is my my DI guitar. So that's my clean DI that I did a while back. And track 2 is where I'm going to, is where I'm recording it down to. So I would have that set to record. Now, as you can see, I got left and right out, so you'll hear on the one side, you'll hear, if you're in stereo, that is, you'll hear the clean guitar, and then you'll hear the distorted guitar. Now then, so how do I have this set up? I'm using, like I said, I'm using monitor 1, so I'm using auxiliary 1. If I was using effects, I'd be down here using effects. I'm not. I'm using auxiliary 1, and I have it all the way out, And then you come down here, and here we are. So this is the main auxiliary. Oh no, this is, I don't even know why I have that on. That's probably why I'm hearing things. So this is your effects auxiliary here. So this is internal effects. I don't want any of that going through. But you have to remember, there we go. Trying to balance two things here. Remember that monitor 1, you have to put it up because it needs to be, you need to be able to hear it. So this is your fader for monitor 1. And that was one of my confusion parts for a while. There was like, well, why am I not hearing it? And this is where the AFL or APL button comes in here, or PFL button comes in handy. Is because that's your solo button. So I hit that, and then I could tell, oh yeah, I'm not right here. I could hear it, but I couldn't hear it. So that's what I've done. That's how I've set this up. So let me just place this back down here for a second. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play. I'm going to turn the volume. I'm going to turn the fader down on the effects so that you don't hear it out the amp in the back. So this is what I've recorded. It's nothing great. Don't think it's going to be some brilliant piece. It's my usual stuff. So just playing the bass part right now, and here comes the. Okay, so that's clean. Now I'm bringing in. Alright, so now I'm turning it down on here, on the... I can show you that here. All right, so that gives you an idea of how to do it. So reamping is really easy. You just use one of the outs. In this case, like I said, you have your effects. I generally, if you don't need to use effects to do this, don't use it. Just that way you don't have to. If you already got your effects set up for something else, don't, just let it be. Let it be. You got your monitor 1, monitor 2. As far as I know, you have at least one monitor output on all three of the model series. I don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure you do. And then all you do is you just do that, get your little reamping box, or if you're tight on cash, get a little balance hum eliminator like this. This is just a very, very fancy version of this. I'll probably get yelled at for that by some engineers. So, but I'm just saying that. So if you don't have a lot of money and you need to be able to just do a hum eliminator. The other reason why I never had a problem with hum is because when I would do this, I would use my Shure wireless system and send the signal over into our bathroom. Yes, into our bathroom. So then the wireless system would act as the buffer that would act as that buffer, so the hum wouldn't happen in there because it was designed to handle that. So yeah, that was how I did. I've done so mmany crazy things in my life. That's all I can say. Yeah, so like I said, that's the easiest way to do this. It's now when I'm done, if I would have done this properly, track 2 would now have the new guitar sound. I could then listen to it. I could then go and adjust that amp, grab a different amp, grab a different whatever, try different amps and stuff. That would be the easiest way. That would just be the nicest way to do it. And yeah, so that's how you do it. So once again, so effects, out, or one of the auxiliary outs into a DI box, hum eliminator, out into the amp, mic the amp, come back around, and then use it in the track. That's how you do it. So I hope this helps you out, and thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.